Hello all, and welcome to this Thursday night's non-alcoholic beer review. It is non-alcoholic, so we can review it on a Thursday night. It's almost 11 p.m. in the night, and of course this was given to me by my dad, who gives me things to review. And in this case, non-alcoholic things, since he can, well, technically he tells me he can still drink alcohol, but his doctors told him to cut back, so he cut back, which is something that I struggle to do. Uh, the few joys I have in my life. Anyways, this is a pretty common non-alcoholic beer. It's Beck's. It's one of those ones that you'll find pretty well distributed. Not as common as O'Doul's or others, but still one of those ones that you find and offer in regular bars when you're looking for a non-alcoholic beer. Of course, this one is a takeoff of their lager. Let's see here. It's a product of Germany, brewed under the German purity law of 1516. Okay, so the Reinheitsgebot laws. I always want to say that. Reinheitsgebot. Reinheitsgebot? Reinheitsgebot? I don't know. I don't speak German. Yeah, so less than 0.5 alcohol by ABV. Date on this is 01/2025, so that's probably the best by date, which means that this is brewed pretty recently for an import, obviously. This is a German import. So without much further ado, let's just go and open this up and pour it out. Don't have particularly high hopes for this one, as I don't really have high hopes for most of the older non-alcoholic beers. But let's reserve our judgment now, shall we? Okay. So clear golden yellow, nicely carbonated. With a fizzy, too frothy white head. It is very strongly of cereal malts. Kind of that cooked cereal malt. It smells very strongly of wort. There's some floral hopping there, but mostly sweet cereal malts. You know, a lot of people in reviews I looked at this compared it to malt. I've never had that just a plain malt beverage. Well, it's something that's kind of popular in Europe for those. It's basically like a kid's drink, like a soda made with just raw malts. So people compared it to that. So yeah, it does smell very much of boiled malt. Okay, onto the palate now. My God, the finishes of like cornflakes. I kid you not. Is not evocative of cornflakes. It tastes like cornflakes in my mouth, that long finish there. Up front, there is that hop bitterness that kind of balances it. But then it fades, and you're basically left with like cereal. I mean, literal, like, it's like sweet kid cereal from the mid to finish into the long finish. It's not as sweet as children's cereal, but it's definitely very much like cornflakes, grains. That sweetness, maybe also slightly evocative of like Honey Smacks or something like that. Not as sweet, though. Not much going on in the top note. But yeah, this is like drinking cereal. I have never had a beverage taste so grainy slash corny before. I mean, it's, I mean, let's put it this way. If you're going for a beer, this probably isn't going to cut it. Um, if you kind of think of it as like a malt beverage, like really a malt beverage tastes of boiled malted grains with the flavor of hops over it. And the bitterness of the hops does last into the finish. It's just the cereal malts just take over really strongly. It's like the hops fade out far faster than the malting does. So, not a clean finish at all. So, I guess that could be held against it style wise. But while those taste notes aren't very evocative of the beer experience, other than the hop bitterness, it's not unpleasant. If you want like a sweet, if you want, if you want a glass of cereal, let's put it this way: if you want a glass of cornflakes or a glass of like Special K or something, this kind of tastes like it. If you just liquefied the cereal and didn't put in any milk or anything. So yeah, Beck's non-alcoholic. To be honest, it's not awful, but if you're like craving a beer, it's not really going to scratch that itch very well. But I mean, if you're craving kind of like a light, sweet, malted beverage on a hot summer day, if that's your particular cup of tea, you might dig this. But as a beer, into that beer experience, not so much. And that, folks, is your non-alcoholic beer review for this Thursday night. Cheers.